Once again with another vital concept which I am going to discuss of your class 11 physics, scalar and vector quantity, fundamental concept, orthogonal unit vectors and the representation of orthogonal unit vectors along the coordinate axis. Orthogonal vectors, three vectors, the vectors directed at an angle of 90 degree are called orthogonal vectors. Orthogonal unit vectors, the vectors having magnitude 1 and acting along coordinate axis are called orthogonal unit vectors. In a coordinate plane, orthogonal unit vector acting along x-axis is expressed as I cap or I hat, along y-axis is j cap. The magnitude of I cap is 1 and the magnitude of j cap is 1. We can represent the orthogonal unit vector along coordinate axis, x-axis, y-axis. I cap is the orthogonal unit vector along x-axis and j cap is the orthogonal unit vector along y-axis. Here this arrow mark indicate the orthogonal unit vector along x-axis having magnitude 1 and this arrow mark indicate along the y-axis is the orthogonal unit vector along y-axis having magnitude 1. Orthogonal unit vector along three coordinate axes, x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. The orthogonal unit vectors acting along x-axis is I cap having coordinate 1, 0, 0. Along y-axis is j cap having coordinate 0, 1, 0. And along z-axis is k cap having coordinate 0, 0, 1. And the magnitude of I cap is 1, magnitude of j cap is 1 and the magnitude of k cap is 1. Vector components of any vector. We can represent any vector as the sum of the vector component along coordinate axis. Any vector along coordinate axis is equal to scalar multiple of unit vector along that axis. If ax, ay and az are the scalar multiple and scalar component of the vector A along x, y and z axis respectively. So you can write vector ax is equal to ax into I cap, scalar component ax into I cap. Vector ay is equal to ay into j cap and vector az is equal to az into k cap. Where ax vector, ay vector and az vector are called vector components of vector A. And you can represent an important point. Any vector can be expressed as the sum of the vector component along the coordinate axis. So vector A can represent a vector A is equal to ax vector plus ay vector plus az vector, which can return ax I cap plus ay j cap plus az k cap. Unit vector in terms of the scalar component of any vector. We know the magnitude of vector A is equal to square root of ax square plus ay square plus az square, where ax, ay and az are the scalar component and the unit vector of vector A is a hat is equal to vector A divided by magnitude of A. And the unit vector A cap is equal to ax I cap plus ay j cap plus az k cap divided by square root of x square plus ay square plus az square. If p, x, y, z be any point along three coordinate axes. In the coordinate axis, we can write scalar component x is equal to x is the x coordinate, ay is equal to y, and az is equal to z. And you can write the magnitude of a is equal to square root of x square plus y square plus z square. And the unit vector a cap is equal to xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap divided by square root of x square plus y square plus z square. This is how we can represent the unit vector of a given vector, right? Here is another important fundamental problem which I am going to discuss. How to find the unit vector in the direction of the vector A, which is 2i cap plus 3j cap plus k cap. Look at the solution here. Here the scalar component of the vector A, x is equal to 2, y is equal to 3, and z is equal to 1. So the magnitude of vector A is equal to square root of x square plus y square plus z square. By putting the value, we shall get square root of 2 square plus 3 square plus 1 square, which is equal to square root of 4 plus 9 plus 1, which is square root of 14. And you can write the unit vector of the vector A is equal to a cap, A is equal to vector A divided by magnitude of A. So a cap is equal to 2i cap plus 3j cap plus k cap divided by square root of 14. And now we can write also a cap further simplified 2 divided by 14 square root I cap plus 3 divided by 14 square root of 14 j cap plus 1 divided by square root of 14 k cap. Right? This is another problem, fundamental problem, which I am going to discuss. Based on the unit vector, find the sum of the vector of given vector. Here in this questions we are going to add the two vectors are given. We are going to add the vector a and b. Very simple and fundamental problem which I am going to discuss. Right? Here vector a plus vector b, we shall get, suppose the another vector c, which is minus 2i cap plus minus 2i cap minus 6j cap plus 5k cap plus 8i cap plus j cap minus 6k cap. After removal of bracket, we can write minus 2i cap minus 6j cap plus 5k cap plus 8i cap plus j cap minus 6k cap. So after arrangement, we can get minus 2i cap plus 8i cap minus 6j cap plus j cap plus 5k cap minus 6k cap, right? Which can be written as minus 2 plus 8 into I cap plus of minus 6 plus 1 j cap plus of 5 minus 6 k cap. You see here 5, here minus 6. And after simplification, we shall get minus 2 plus 8 6 I cap plus of minus 5 j cap plus of minus 1 k cap. And we can return 6 I cap minus 5 j cap minus k cap is the vector C, who is the sum of the vectors a and b. So you can write the vector a plus vector b is equal to sum of the two vector a and b, which is equal to 6i cap minus 5j cap minus k cap. So we can add any two vectors in this process. Just note it down. Right? Another interesting problem, fundamental problem, which I am going to discuss. Find the unit vector in the direction of the sum of the vectors. The two vectors are given. First of all, you have to add the two vectors. Look at the solution here. Let vector A is equal to vector A plus vector B. Here capital A is the sum of the vectors small a, vector and vector B. So we can write 2i cap plus 2j cap minus 5k cap plus vector b, which is equal to 2i cap plus j cap plus 3k cap. We can get the arrangement here: 2i cap plus 2i cap plus 2j cap plus j cap plus 3k cap minus 5k cap. And we shall get vector A is equal to 4i cap, here 2 plus 2 4, 2 plus 1 3j cap plus 3 minus 5 minus 2k cap. And the scalar component of the vector A, which is x is equal to 4, y is equal to 3 and z is equal to minus 2. And the magnitude of vector A is x square plus y square plus z square. After putting the value, we shall get square root of 4 square plus 3 square minus 2 square, which is equal to square root of 16 plus 9 plus 4, which is equal to square root of 29. And we can write the unit vector of the given vector A with the sum of vector A and B, which is equal to a cap equal to a vector A divided by magnitude of A. All of you know. And we can write a cap is equal to 4i cap plus 3j cap minus 2k cap divided by square root of 29. And further simplification we can write a cap is equal to 4 divided by 29 root over I cap plus 3 by square root of 29 j cap minus 2 by square root 29 k cap. This is one of the fundamental vital problem which I am going to discuss how to find out the unit vector in the direction of the sum of the two unit vectors. So we are discussing so many vital problem, important concept of your class 11 physics. Here is an assignment for you. Look at the assignment and try for the assignment. And we are discussing a very important concept. And next class we are discussing how to find the cross product and the dot product of the vectors. How to multiply the vectors. One of the important fundamental concept which is mostly applicable in various field of physics.